Title: The Haunting of Abandoned Village. Once upon a chilling autumn evening, a group of adventurous friends set out on a journey to explore the long-forgotten village of Ravenscroft. Nestled deep within the dense woods, this abandoned village had been shrouded in mystery for centuries. Local legends whispered tales of dark rituals and malevolent spirits that once plagued the village, forcing its residents to flee, leaving behind their homes and memories. The group consisted of 5 friends: Alex, the fearless leader; Sarah, the skeptic; Mike, the tech-savvy enthusiast; Lisa, the history buff; and Ben, the nature lover. They had heard stories about the village during their childhood, and their curiosity had finally gotten the better of them. As they ventured deeper into the woods, the ancient trees seemed to close in around them, casting eerie shadows. Their flashlights cut through the thick fog that clung to the ground. Like a spectral shroud, the wind whispered secrets from the past, and distant echoes of laughter and cries echoed in the night. Upon reaching the village, they were greeted by an unsettling silence. Abandoned houses stood like grim sentinels, their windows staring blankly into the darkness. Broken cobblestone streets led to a massive, decrepit mansion rumored to be the epicenter of the village's dark history. Lisa, the history buff, began to recount the tales she had heard. The mansion belonged to the Ravenscroft family, who were said to have dabbled in occult practices. They were rumored to have summoned dark entities, seeking power and immortality. But their experiments went horribly wrong, and the village was cursed, leaving it to rot. Despite their unease, the group decided to explore the mansion inside. They found eerie paintings and dusty tomes filled with cryptic symbols. The air grew colder, and the atmosphere weighed on them like a heavy shroud. Suddenly, a chilling gust of wind slammed the creaking doors shut, trapping them inside. Panic filled the room as they realized they were not alone. Shadows danced in the corners, and a guttural voice whispered malevolent incantations. Mike, the tech-savvy enthusiast, scrambled to activate his paranormal detection equipment. It flickered and buzzed, confirming the presence of supernatural energy. Sarah, the skeptic, began to question her disbelief. As the group huddled together, a menacing figure emerged from the shadows, its form shifting and contorting. It was a manifestation of the dark entities that had haunted the village for centuries. It spoke in a sinister tongue, vowing to never release them from its grasp. In a moment of desperation, Lisa, the history buff, remembered an old incantation she had read about. She recited it with trembling lips, and a blinding light erupted from the tomes, forcing the malevolent entity to retreat. The mansion trembled, and the doors swung open, freeing the group. Outside, they watched as the curse that had plagued Ravenscroft for so long began to lift. The shadows dissipated, and the village seemed to sigh with relief. As they left the haunted village behind, the friends realized that some mysteries were best left unsolved. The malevolent spirits had been vanquished, but the scars of that night would remain with them forever. They had walked on the edge of darkness, and they knew that the supernatural world was as real as the legends that had drawn them there, and so they left Ravenscroft, forever changed by their encounter with the unknown, their hearts beating with the knowledge that the line between the living and the supernatural was thinner than they had ever imagined. After their harrowing encounter with the malevolent entity in the haunted village of Ravenscroft, the group of friends decided to return to their normal lives, each carrying the weight of that chilling night with them. Weeks passed, and they couldn't shake the feeling that something had latched onto them. During their visit to Ravenscroft, strange occurrences became a part of their everyday lives. Objects move on their own. Whispers filled the air, and eerie shadows danced in their peripheral vision. Lisa, who had once been the skeptic, delved deeper into her research on the occult and paranormal. She believed that they had awoken something powerful in Ravenscroft, something that refused to let go. One evening, the friends gathered to discuss their experiences and figure out a way to rid themselves of the malevolent presence. Mike had upgraded his paranormal detection equipment, and it pointed to a convergence of supernatural energy, leading them back to the abandoned village. With a mixture of trepidation and determination, they returned to Ravenscroft. The village had once again fallen into darkness, and the mansion loomed like a sinister specter in the moonlight. This time they were prepared, armed with knowledge and an arsenal of protective amulets. They entered the mansion with cautious resolve. Inside, the malevolent entity awaited them, its rage palpable. A fierce battle ensued as the group fought to banish the entity once and for all. They chanted ancient incantations, brandished protective symbols, and called upon their newfound knowledge of the occult. The mansion trembled, and the entity's cries grew louder. In a final, brilliant burst of light, they managed to weaken the entity enough for Lisa to recite a powerful banishment spell. With a deafening roar, the entity dissipated into nothingness, leaving behind an eerie calm. As they stepped out of the mansion, they knew they had finally freed Ravenscroft from its dark curse. The village, once haunted and desolate, began to show signs of life. Nature reclaimed its territory, and the long-forgotten history of Ravenscroft started to re-emerge. The friends returned to their normal lives, forever bound by their shared experiences in Ravenscroft. The malevolent entity had been defeated, and they had become unlikely heroes in a story that few would ever believe. As the years passed, they continued to explore the mysteries of the supernatural world, this time as a united front. They had learned that sometimes confronting the darkness within ourselves and the world around us was the only way to find the light, and so they left Ravenscroft behind forever, connected by the bonds forged in the crucible of the unknown.